Tell me about this candidacy. Do you take it almost as 100% this is a done deal?
Well, today, really, there will be a great day for Ukraine, a great historic day. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Definitely, 100% can be guaranteed only after the end of the summit. But we have all very good positive trends on having today a positive decision for Ukraine. We have a very positive decision on the Commission. My president, over the last several days, spoke to practically each and every leader of the 27 members who will be present at the table. Of course, he's not finalizing his call. I have to catch up with him in a few minutes. But I think today, every argument, all the proofs are telling to us that Ukraine should become a candidate country for EU membership and then move further on the path to the integration to the European Union.
And of course, this cements the shift that you've taken trying to move away from the Russian sphere of influence into Western Europe. But I wonder, between the candidacy and the real accession talks, how do you see that going and happening? Because a lot of people out there say this is going to take a long time. You're in the midst of a war. There are issues around rule of law, at times corruption. You know all of this very well. How long do you think this is going to take for you to become a real member of the EU?
Look, we've got several recommendations by the Commission ahead of opening accession negotiations for us. We will do them. It's possible to do them even by the end of the year. Then we are hoping to open the accession negotiations. The negotiations might be tough and difficult, but I would not speculate now decades or years. Much will depend on Ukraine. Definitely much will depend on the victory of Ukraine in the war. But we will be doing the reforms with the same path with which we filled the questionnaire. You know, we filled in the questionnaire within 1 month instead of 1 year. This same path, this same speed will be with our reforms. We've already done much of the job. 70% of the acquis is in the legislation of Ukraine. 63% of the association agreement is done. So be sure Ukraine will be moving with this tremendous speed. We would like Brussels and other member states to move at least with the half speed Ukraine is moving, and that will going to bring us to the membership to the EU.
And sir, the obvious question, however, is do you fear retaliation from the Russian Federation? I mean, they've said it very clearly. They regard some parts of Ukraine as Russian territories. Do you fear retaliation from Russia in the next few weeks as a result of this candidacy?
Well, everything possible with Russia, although we heard Putin, who said that he has nothing against membership of Ukraine to the EU. As far as the territories are concerned, we will not make any secession to Ukrainian territories. The Ukraine, in its whole integrity, in all the territories as of 24th of August 1991, will definitely be part of the EU sometimes.
And I have to ask you, there's a lot of talks and tension also, too, on the food situation. The other day, I was struck by the comments of the editor of Russia Today, who said the best hope for Russia is to trigger a hunger crisis so that would lift sanctions. Where are the talks between Ukraine, Turkey, and Russia in terms of unblocking some of the ports?
We are talking with the UN Secretary General. We are talking with the leadership of the EU, Charles Michel personally, and member states. My president spoke to the African Union members. So obviously, I will not reveal you the part of the talks, but Ukraine is doing everything. It will provide its grain. It's ready to provide its ports, provided that they are unblocked. But Russia is stealing now Ukrainian grain in the Ukrainian occupied ports. So we are hoping on the joint efforts of the international community to prevent this food crisis. Ukraine is ready on its part, 100%.
But for the time being, in terms of even the broader negotiations on the peace talks, it does seem from the outside that this has completely stopped, that is dead. Do you see a diplomatic way forward, or this is still a military situation for Ukraine?
Definitely not today. As far as the diplomatic talks are concerned, Russia is fighting in Ukraine. Russia is not withdrawing troops. Russia is not making a ceasefire. Provided that Russia can do these steps, at least have the troops withdrawn as of the line of 24th of February and make the whole and general ceasefire in Ukraine, we would be ready for the diplomatic solution. We were ready from the beginning, but Russia was not ready. But for the time being, the main diplomatic talks are on the battlefield.
And just as a very final question, have you had any communication with anyone around the circle of Vladimir Putin? At one point, there was talk that Roman Abramovich was helping with that. Has there been any talks between your president's office and that of Vladimir Putin for that meeting to materialize?
To the best of my knowledge, no.